Hello, and welcome. My name is Olga and I'm the creator of the Self-Care Wheel, world's #1 rated, most searched, downloaded, and utilized self-care tool. In this video, I'll introduce you to the ultimate 3-step self-care formula utilized by hundreds of thousands of people around the world to help them create a full, happy, and healthy life they love. And at the end of this video, I'll share a great resource with you that will serve as a wonderful shortcut to the self-care results you want. Okay, let's begin. So, what is the ultimate 3-step self-care formula? Let me begin by saying that one of the most powerful and effective methods for creating a healthy, happy, authentic life we love is a personalized, ongoing, and sustainable self-care practice. Researchers and scientists have been studying it for decades now and have undeniable proof of its amazing benefits. We know that personalized, ongoing, and sustainable self-care practice banishes stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. It also improves mood, builds resilience, and boosts well-being. The process of focusing on ourselves and our needs and actually meeting them by taking good care of ourselves builds self-love, self-worth, and self-esteem. Since effective self-care practice is multidimensional and covers physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, personal, and professional areas of our lives, it's no wonder that nurturing all these aspects of ourselves would create intention, focus, and meaning for us, as well as improve our relationships with ourselves and others. In short, a personalized, ongoing, and sustainable self-care practice allows us to feel, live, and be at our best, which really means that it has the power to help us create the life we love. But unfortunately, most people struggle with not only creating and sustaining a self-care routine, but even with coming up with any type of self-care ideas beyond massages and bubble baths. And who can blame them? Since physical self-care has been the most talked about self-care model in the media for years now. When I first started researching and practicing self-care many years ago, because trust me, I really needed it. That was the first thing that came to my mind, and that's what I was trying to do. Don't get me wrong, massages and bubble baths are fantastic. I am the #1 fan, but they're simply not enough for effective and sustainable self-care practice. Because of misconceptions like this one and a couple of others I'll mention in a second, people don't get to enjoy the amazing benefits that come along with practicing self-care. So there are 3 main barriers to effective self-care. As I said, misconceptions and general lack of awareness about what self-care practice really consists of or could consist of is one barrier. The perception that self-care takes tremendous amount of time and money is another. And persons' past unsuccessful attempts at creating or maintaining a working self-care routine is the 3rd barrier. So, here is where our dynamic and world-famous trio comes in. The self-care wheel and its 2 trusted companions, the self-care wheel assessment and the Create Your Own Self-Care Wheel tools help us to remove these barriers by wonderfully working together as a 3-step ultimate self-care approach. They do it in several different ways. First, the self-care wheel opens up a whole new world where self-care possibilities are almost endless. It provides us with numerous ideas of self-care activities that go way beyond traditional massages and bubble baths, and in a simple and visually appealing way presents us with a multi-dimensional and effective model of self-care. Not only that, but it shows us a multitude of absolutely free self-care activities, proving that self-care actually does not have to cost us a thing. The self-care wheel contains 88 self-care ideas, a large majority of which are free. Next comes the self-care wheel assessment tool. It starts the process of identifying the areas of our lives that require our most attention, are the most challenging, and sometimes the most painful. This provides us with an amazing opportunity to focus on what's most important. This saves us a tremendous amount of time and effort and keeps us motivated to make much needed changes, because now we have an undisputable proof that some things really are not going well in our lives, and we cannot ignore it anymore. On the other hand, we also can see very clearly which areas or dimensions of our lives are definitely going well. Oftentimes, there is a theme or trend or pattern or certain activity we engage in that make us feel satisfied in a particular dimension. And we can definitely learn from that and draw on these experiences to help us boost satisfaction in the dimensions that are not going so well. Make sense? All right. And finally, we have the Create Your Own Wheel tool, which works as a visually engaging space to help us brainstorm self-care activities for our top priority areas and activities that already work for us. This helps us evaluate everything, reflect on the results, and make a solid working plan for our new self-care routine that is completely personalized and based on our current life situation, our strengths, challenges, priorities, and goals. This is why the Self-Care Wheel Trio is the ultimate 3-step self-care formula that greatly increases our chances of successful and sustainable self-care plan implementation. And as a result, brings us so much closer to a full, happy, and healthy life we love. Since the self-care wheel tools were released in 2013, not only hundreds of thousands of individuals greatly benefited from them, but schools, hospitals, universities, police and fire departments, mental health providers, and governments all over the world are utilizing the Self-Care Wheel Trio to transform health and well-being of their clients, students, teams, and communities. I'm so very happy and grateful that the Self-Care Wheel I first created for myself because of my own personal struggles with deep depression and severe burnout is now changing lives of others around the world. If you haven't yet downloaded the Self-Care Wheel tools, please visit my website at olgaphoenix.com for a free download. I'll put the link below. To answer one of the most asked questions in advance, these tools are absolutely free for personal use. If you or your organization want to utilize it on a professional level and you work-related activities like courses, presentations, coaching, counseling, activities with students, clients, or staff, the copyright license is needed. I'll link the copyright information below as well. And if you'd like a more in-depth, step-by-step instruction on how exactly to utilize these tools, I highly recommend my downloadable workbook, The Ultimate 7-Step Guide to the Self-Care Wheel, How to Create the Life You Love with the #1 rated self-care tool in the world. I'll put the link to it down below as well. I have a printed and bounded copy here with me, a little bit of a show and tell for you. It's a fun, wonderfully illustrated 17-page downloadable workbook that will guide you on an amazing self-discovery, assessment, and reflection journey with the help of all 3 self-care tools, kickstarting your intentional, sustainable, and personalized self-care practice, and as a direct result, a healthy, happy, purposeful, and flourishing life you love. Okay, friends, that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to show your support by giving this video a like. Leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the self-care wheel tools. Also, please let me know what you'd like me to cover next. All of this really does help me to spread this message to people who really need it. Thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you next time.